Brilliance Audio presents Nailed by Cora Brent, performed by Kristen Watson-Heinz. You can always expect that I have everything under control, I added a tad too briskly. Of course you do, Barnes said with the same hint of snappishness. I'll see you later, Audrey. Of course you do. What's that supposed to mean? I muttered as an elderly man in a red baseball cap paused to stare at me. I gave him a slight smile and started to cross the street. Barnes's words would have been a compliment if delivered with less irritation. I tried to shove away the vague annoyance I felt over the conversation, though a nerve had been struck. I had been called a control freak at work. I'd been called a lot worse. Still, Barnes was also under a lot of pressure and probably didn't mean any harm. I wouldn't be bringing this up later. There were more important tasks to deal with, and the last thing I wanted to do was give anyone a reason to call me oversensitive. It was hard enough being the only female project manager in the firm. I was so lost in my inner monologue that I failed to notice the light had changed. The waiting pedestrians had already crossed to the other side and traffic was beginning to move. Someone grabbed my arm and yanked me backward, pulling me out of the road. I dropped my handbag in the street and went tumbling in the direction of whoever seized me. I've got you, said a deep voice. An arm braced me around the waist. For one insane second, I wanted to go limp against its power like a swooning virgin in an old-fashioned bodice ripper. Then I looked up and got a load of who the voice and the arm belonged to. All thoughts of virginal swooning evaporated as Jason Roma grinned down at me. Don't you know any better than to wander into a busy street? His mouth tilted into the perpetually infuriating smirk that I'd grown used to despising after 6 years. I'm fine, I snapped, shoving him away. My heel wobbled as I took a step back, farther away from the curb and from Jason Roma, from his strong arms and his pine-scented aftershave that always made me think of sex whether I wanted to or not. But even though I stumbled a little, I managed to avoid falling. He calmly watched me. You won't be fine when you turn around. I brushed my hands over my skirt as if Jason had somehow gotten it dirty. Why's that? He pointed. Because your overpriced status symbol just got eviscerated by a city bus. My head whipped around. The Louis Vuitton bag I'd bought for myself last Christmas was lying in a deflated heap in the middle of 3rd Street. A pickup truck added to the damage by running over it once more, this time managing to displace the contents because somehow I never remembered to snap it closed. Jason Roma and every pedestrian waiting on either corner got a nice view of my crushed lipstick, scattered tampons, and the 2 condoms I kept in a side pocket just in case I stopped working long enough to have sex with someone. At least I'd been holding my phone when I decided to take a stroll into traffic. It was still clutched in my palm. The light changed again. People began crossing once more. Vaguely, I recognized I was missing my brief opportunity to run into the street and collect my belongings. Then I blinked and realized I didn't need to because Jason Roma had braved downtown traffic to do it for me. Here you go, he said triumphantly a moment later, handing over the sad remains of the handbag. Looks like your wallet's still inside and in one piece, if a bit flatter. I tried to accept it with dignity. Thank you. I had to cradle the handbag in my arms like a newborn baby because the seams were busted, and even though Jason had tried to stuff the loose tampons and other objects inside, they were in danger of escaping through the holes. I appreciate the help, I said with a bit of sincerity, which was odd for me when I was talking to Jason. He raised an eyebrow. You mean in saving your life or retrieving your purse?